first step when you're going to install Autocrat is you're going to open up a Google Sheet. Then you're going to go to Extensions, Add-ons, Get Add-ons, and then you can look right here and chances are Autocrat is going to show up, which is right here. It's this yellow one. But if it doesn't show up for you, you can just type in Autocrat. And then that'll move it to the front of the line. So now you click here, you hit install. That's asking for your permission and your terms of service and your privacy policy is right here. You're going to hit continue. It's going to ask which account. Now here is the scary part. So Autocrat wants to access your Google account, and it tells you all of the things that Autocrat can do. So it can send an email as you, edit and delete all Google slide presentations. It can do a bunch of things. So normally I'm hesitant to click allow, but this app has been vetted by people that I know and trust. So ordinarily I wouldn't recommend saying allow without first doing some research, but this one has already been researched. So now it says it's installed and we hit done. And now we can close this window. And when you go to extensions, you'll find Autocrat right here. Okay, so when I do a document with Autocrat, a lot of times I'll start with where I want the information to land. And so what we're going to need now are merge tags. And so that is just a simple way for the computer to know where you want the information to go. So I'm going to do first name. Notice it has 2 open and then 2 closing. Then I'm going to go middle initial. And then I'm going to do one for last name. Some people start with their Google form first. You can do either, but it's a good idea to think about how you want the layout of your information. So I've got street address. There's my merge tag. And city, state. And then cell number. Now the thing that's cool about this is it will do the color. If you want to change your color, you can change the color. You can make it bold. I'll do a couple of different ones. You can change the font. And it's going to take all of these changes into account. So with the 2 little arrows on either side, those create your merge tags. And if they are exactly the same, it'll automatically map them together. So here is our document. Oh, and another important thing is you're going to end up with a lot of documents if you do this for very long or very often. So I always want to make sure I can find my document that's a merge tag. So in the name of my document, I name it what it is and then merge tags. Sometimes I put MT, but I always put the arrows. And that's all for the documents. Okay, so now I have my Google form for my contact information sheet. So notice that I ask for their email address. I wanted to just show you an option, and that'll be apparent as we go further. So I've got first name, middle initial, last name, street address, city, state, and zip code. And any of these you can break down like city, state, and zip code, could have been broken down into city, state, and zip code. So it could have been broken down into 3 different entries. For the sake of time, I chose not to do that. So notice that I have everything over here. Oops, I didn't ask for cell phone number. So I need to add that. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to make that required. Okay, so now I have everything I need. So I'm going to pause for a second, get a couple of entries in here, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so I have an entry. So I'm going to set it up to, I'm going to open it up in Sheets. So there's my entry. Now I'm going to go to Extensions and Autocrat and Launch. Sometimes that might take it a minute to open, other times it opens really quickly. So I'm going to create a new job. And the reason it asks for the job name is you could run multiple jobs from the same spreadsheet. So I'm just going to do contact info. Then next. So the next thing I need to do is choose my template. So I'm going to go to Drive. And here is my contact info. If it helps you to see the names, you can change, this makes it the blocks, and list view makes it the list of names. So I'm going to go to contact info, merge tags, and then scroll down, and I'm going to hit select. So now I'm going to go next. Now, if you have multiple tabs in your sheet, you may need to change this. Okay, so first name. Notice it was exactly the same as the question and it mapped automatically. Notice that I didn't have MI the same. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click middle initial. Last name was the same. Okay, street address. And it is case sensitive. So notice that I have street address right here, but it's with a lowercase a, and street address right here has an uppercase. So the more you can make it the same, the easier it's going to be. But if you have long questions, I would recommend making those brief and just doing something different. Okay, so I've got all of these are matched up. It says I have a header row. The first data row is in row 2. So now it wants to know the file name. So if you're going to have a whole bunch of different files, see, I'm going to do last name, first name. So I just clicked and then I hit Control V and contact info 2223. So I can choose which type of output I want. If it's just for me, a lot of times I'll do a Google Doc so I can access it. But you can also do a PDF. You can choose single output mode if it's just for you and you want all of the copies. Or I tend to email my stuff out, so I do multiple output. Where do I want to save it? I forgot to take care of this. So I'm going to go into my drive and I am going to make a folder to save all of these. So I'm going to name it Contact Info 2223, and I may name it Autocrat so I can keep up with where my files are going. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet right here. So I'm going to choose a folder. And I want this one, Contact Info 2223. I'm going to get rid of the one that's in my drive. That way all of the information is just going to be in this folder. We're not going to do a dynamic folder option. Okay, so it needs to know, hey, when do you want me to merge this? When do you want me to run? So I'm going to add a condition, and I want it to run whenever the timestamp is not empty. So I'm going to add next. Now you can choose different times. You can choose timestamp. You can choose when a cell number is a certain number. But for the most part, timestamp equals not null is what I need. So I'm going to go next. Do I want to share the document? This is why I did the email address. So I'm going to share the document, and I don't want anybody to be able to edit anything I do. So I'm going to do view only doc. Allow collaborators to reshare. Yes, I'm okay with that just because of the type of document. Send from a generic no reply address. On this case, I'm going to put no. So who's it going to? Well, I want it to go to, please enter your email address. The program is going to automatically put in whatever email address that they put in there. And I want a copy of this. You can send a copy of this to yourself. You can blind carbon copy yourself. You can do a lot of different things. So the subject, contact info. And you can even say, you can have these personalize, first name, comma, please review the contact information you submitted. Thank you. Advancement. Then next. So if I'm doing a form, generally I want it to run on a form trigger. So I click yes. The other option is for you to go in periodically and manually run it. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to go and do that. It's better for me if it comes straight to my email. So I'm going to click yes. And another option is to run on a time trigger where it'll run like every hour. And if there's something new to run, then it'll run. And if not, it will not. So this first one, so right here is to run the job, and that's going to run the one that's already there because I generally do a test job. This button is to edit. This one is to preview job details, and this one is to put it in the trash. So I'm going to run it, and beautiful things happen when we run it. So you'll notice that over here, it's generating some extra columns. And I have a link. Let me close this. I have the merge document URL, and I also have a link to the merge document. And it tells me that it was successfully created and successfully merged, and emails were sent to So now let's see what it looks like. So this is the document that came out. Notice it kept my color change, it kept my font change, and the ones that I didn't change stayed the same. So you can change this to be whatever you want. And that's it.